Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the first meeting of the new year. It is January 14th, 2019. Can I have a roll call, please?
Schuster. Here. Basil.
Here.
Whalen.
Here.
Caperos.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
The minutes from December 10th. Are there any changes? If not, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made. Is there a second? There is a second. Any questions of the motion? Roll call.
Schuster. Yes. Basil.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Caperos.
Yes.
Meyer. Yes. Kraus.
Abstain.
And anyone from the audience wish to address the board tonight? George?
Yes, I'd like to thank the chief of police and his staff, along with the administration of high school, for the fine job they did with the ugly incident that has occurred at the high school. I really appreciate it. I have a granddaughter that's involved in all that stuff too, so it's nice to see it done professionally.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Wish to address the board? Now, we have two swearing in tonight of two new police officers. Chief and Jeanette, you're up.
I'm gonna get that.
You don't let out film?
Yes, it sure is.
Okay, is there a Michael Rodriguez here? Come on up. The time was practice, okay?
Okay.
This is the big official one. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Michael Rodriguez,
I, Michael Rodriguez,
having been appointed to the position of patrol officer
have been appointed to the position of patrol officer
in the village of Beecher
in the village of Beecher
in the county of Will,
in the county of Will,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will confirm the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of patrol officer to the best of my ability.
of position of patrol officer to the best of my ability.
Okay, now it's really official.
All right.
So to the trustees, they might not know, they probably all know you, but just.
Oh,
in
okay.
case.
Hi, Michael Rodriguez. Michael Rodriguez.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
We're all hiding in the corner.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris. Congratulations. Jonas Kujawa. Did I say that right?
Common spelling.
All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jonas Kujawa,
I, Jonas Kajawa,
having been appointed to the position of patrol officer
having been appointed to the position of patrol officer
in the village of Beecher
in the village of Beecher
in the county of Will,
in the county of Will,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of patrol officer
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of patrol officer to
to the best of my ability.
the best of my ability.
Okay, you're good to go.
I'm gonna keep these actually.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
That was just.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right, congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I think they have to stay for the whole meeting.
Right away.
It is part of the process.
Hit him hard.
I don't wanna leave you off, congratulations too.
Wait, I get my gun.
Mayor, before we move on, I would like to thank trustee Wheeler and Commissioner Terry for helping with the setting this up and doing the interviews for the part-time. It was quite, not
Village Commissions, Beautification Commission. Matt wasn't there, I was. It was quite a bit discussed, including the watering of the flowers, the ordering of the new flowers. There was a presentation by family, remember the name, somebody? Bowen Props. They want to do a project of planting trees somewhere in the park. There's quite a bit of discussion. They've actually been to Public Works, they've been to you, and then now they're with beautification. With that, this discussion with Scott, possibly that maybe they would take on the project of Wiltonstead Park and come up with a plan to possibly plant trees there. No commitment, no nothing, just if they want to come up with a plan and present it to the board and or the committee, we can do that. It's all preliminary. Other than that, that was about it. For the July Commission, Trustee Meyer?
Not much to report. I did contact the new treasurer, and we're gonna get together towards the end of this month to kind of turn things over.
Good. Youth Commission, Trustee Missouri?
Monday the 21st, we have our next event, which is the bowling event. I believe that the sign-ups and everything went home with the students at the elementary and junior high on Friday. And our next meeting is here this Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. As always, we are in need of volunteers and commissioners, so we are actively looking. Come and see us. That's all I have.
Thank you. Historic Preservation Commission, Trustee Will?
We have a meeting coming up this Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And I always go after Stacy and she asks for volunteers, but we're looking for volunteers as well for the historic preservation. So if anybody would like to, we meet at the depot the third Wednesday of every month at 6 o'clock. So if anybody's interested, let me know. That's it.
Trustee Basil?
Treasurer's report for prior month, Donna?
The ending balance for the village accounts in December, $2,908,838.60. The total of the commission accounts, $191,338.38. Total of all accounts combined, $3,100,176.98. The ending balance in general, $875,018.82. I did pass out a corrected report for the commission and non-AP payments. The original one, what our process is I transfer over from general and O&M. I transfer for the net pay, I put it into central and we just pay from there. I unfortunately left 3 of the transfers in the original report. So the total on the corrected report, the total is $226,296.39. And that's the end of my report.
All right, I would like to make a motion approving the treasurer's report for the prior month.
The motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second to the motion. Any questions? Roll call.
Rouse?
Yes.
Meyer? Yes. Capros?
Yes.
Ware?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
All right, variance reports for the preceding month are enclosed for your review. And the approved of the bills for the prior month. There's a couple that were added. Call 1 is highlighted, Constellation Energy. Julie, annual locating fee. And Smith Farms. So there is also one other bill that was not included with the bills. And Matt, maybe you can explain this. It's for our dump truck.
Yeah, it's a hydraulic cylinder for our, one of our big 8-ton dump trucks. It's been out for about 3 or 4 weeks. We finally got it back today, and the company, we have never set an account up with them due to never having to do this type of service. So we need to do a one-time payment with them, and then we can get an account set up with them, and then go with net 30 after that. So they're looking for payment. They weren't wanting to even give us our cylinder today, but kind of convinced them into that.
I
So.
told Matt to use the credit card, and Matt says we want to do a 3% upcharge on the card,
Yeah.
so then we'll bring it up tonight and save
Yeah.
3%.
So it's a bill for $850 for that. So that needs to be added to the bills. So I would like to make a motion to approve the bills for $215,036.90.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second, any questions?
I have a question. What are the repairs for the EMA vehicles?
Chief has to answer that question.
Chief, yeah, is he here?
He's in the back office. Can you go get him?
I remember there was 3 vehicles, I remember looking at the bill.
Yeah, there were 3.
You know, I mean, was it just like brakes and?
One was an alternator, I know that. I couldn't tell you what the other 2 were. Chief would have to answer that. Or we can go get the bills and look at it.
I mean, they are old vehicles, so.
Sorry, is there a question?
Yeah, the EMA vehicles that we repaired this month.
Okay. What were they?
I think I got them in here. I believe one was the SUV that Dennis drives. I didn't put a copy on here, I'm sorry. Yeah, there were just 2 rec maintenance for the vehicles. There was an older bill from Goldie's that was never paid, that they resubmitted for the SUV, so,
So it was just, this was just regular maintenance work on it?
yeah.
You didn't drop another engine in it?
No, no more engines, no more engines.
It was 3 cars that were worked on,
It was-
right?
Yeah,
Was-
it was
Yeah.
1999 Suburban, the 2000 Crown Vic, and the 2010 Crown Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're watching that SUV, it's the oldest one. I mean, there's a lot of money put into it, so it's running good right now. But if there's another big ticket item, we're gonna have to really think about maybe getting rid of that.
Yeah, it's 20 years old, so.
Yeah.
Was there another EMA vehicle that had an alternator problem in the parade? Is that one of the vehicles that was fixed? I mean, I know he just said the other ones, but is that?
Not that I'm aware of now.
Okay. I thought I heard about in the Piatone parade that one of the cars.
Oh, the
had an
Phantom's great,
issue.
okay. That I don't know.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Roll call.
Missouri?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Whalen?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Okay. Last Friday, we finally received the final paperwork, otherwise I would have sent you an email, concerning the purchase of the property at 533 Reed Street. And as you can tell now, the amount that we agreed upon was $90,000. So therefore, what Matt explained, the repairs that he wants to do, make the total amount of $150,000, but tonight would be the motion for 90.
Yeah, I mean, the repairs are pretty extensive as far as what needs to be done or what's wanting to be done. There's a whole list of things. Electrical is a main priority. Heat, insulation, the roof's been done in the past 5 years. The exterior of the building needs to be redone for aesthetic purposes. You know, we discussed a fence around the outside. It could help with storage of outside storage for impound vehicles or so on and so forth. A lot of stuff we're storing outside at the Public Works garage right now really needs to be secured in a better location. But yeah, new garage doors on both sides. We'll be splitting the building between us and the police department. The police department will be using the west side for on-duty squads that are used more often than not. So yeah, there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done, but I think it'll be beneficial for us, the police department and the EMA, if we can all benefit from it, so.
And we priced a similar sized building if we were to build on our own property new, and just buying the kit would have been over $150.
Yeah.
The steel kit.
Yeah, that's no concrete, no doors, no electric, none of that stuff, so it's,
This makes sense.
yeah.
Matt, is that fence just around the building area, or are you gonna expand it?
No, it's only gonna be, there's a high side to the building right now where it's been built up. It's on the south side. As of right now, we're not planning on fencing in the big grass area. Maybe in the future, if plans change or things need to be moved around or whatever, we could definitely look into that. But right now, it would just be the high side, so.
Is that enough storage room for everything?
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's deep, but it's not wide.
it's not wide, yeah, I mean,
Drops
there's,
off, so you can't.
There's 2 trailers parked there side by side.
now,
2
yeah.
white trailers.
Mhm.
Yeah, the other idea that came up is we got a price for $8,000 to paint the building, and then Matt, you got a bid to reskin the building.
I haven't got an actual bid yet, that's in the works. Cost of tearing down the old tin and putting new tin up is roughly 12 to 13,000, so that might be with a 40-year warranty, so that might be a little bit of a better option
I
for
do that with painting.
bang for the buck. So we just gotta see where the numbers fall and where the budget ends up and things like that, so. We've already been working pretty hard on some numbers and stuff like that, so we got a pretty good idea of where we're gonna be, so.
Okay, with that, I'll take back a statement that I made. You could make the motion not to exceed $150,000, including repairs, if that's your so desire, or you just want to approve the building as it is tonight for the $90,000.
So I think there would be, we have to adopt an ordinance that says not to exceed 90 for buying property. I think I guess you could amend the ordinance if you want to increase the purchase.
The ordinance for the purchase of the property is $90,000, but the entire project would be $150,000.
150, yeah.
Right.
Why don't we just take care of this one? We'll work it out once we get the details, we still gotta lock down where it's coming from, the due-tos and all that. So, I mean, there's no rush for it. I mean, it was all agreed upon in executive session, we're gonna put money into it, everybody knows it's coming. So that gives Matt a little more time to, get some more solid numbers. And
Yeah, what
just
I-
do it not to exceed.
Yeah, and part of that process is, right now I don't have great access to the building to get contractors in there to look at it.
Yeah.
Once we purchase it, then I think that'll come easier, so so right now I'm kinda playing at the leisure of the renting, of the renter, so.
We got an ordinance number?
1,300.
I'll go ahead and make a motion, to approve ordinance number 1,300, authorizing the purchase of real estate 533 Reed Street in the amount not to exceed $90,000.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, there's a second, any questions? Roll call.
Kraus?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Capros?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
I need to back up one. The fuel committee report per se met recently, and I'll explain what the outcome was.
Yeah, we received 2 bids. The 2 bids on the variable pricing in fuel was Bell Fuels. They bid 24.45 cents over low-rack, and Heritage FS bid 11 cents over low-rack. I believe last year the low-rack price was also 11 cents, the FS bid. On the flat price bid, we only had 1 bid from Heritage FS at $2.08 of a cent for 87 UNL, and $2.32, and then another 19 parts of a cent for diesel. That is including all the taxes. The Intergovernmental Fuel Committee met last week and discussed it at length, and recommended that the flat price be awarded to lock in the prices, because apparently we are at the lowest point right now. Everyone's telling us in the fuel markets that the price of gas is probably gonna go up. So instead of last year where we went to variable pricing and didn't lock right away, they're recommending to lock right away this year. Compared to the prices now, this is gonna save us about 35 cents a gallon. What we pay.
Questions? Doubt, someone make the motion to accept the bid? with fuel committee?
I make a motion to accept the bid from the joint fuel committee, to lock in fuel pricing for 2019
Heritage FS. From Heritage FS.
from Heritage FS.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions? Roll call.
Missouri?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Caprows?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Trustee Capros.
Consider a motion authorizing the waiving of bids for an emergency repair to 310 feet of water main on Oak Park from Hodges south to 623 Oak Park. Public Works replaced about half of that block of main in 2013. It's kind of always been hanging out there. We just did the south, from that point south to Indiana. With Brandt, while we were there, started having issues there. Brandt, we asked for a price from Brandt Excavating. They're the same unit prices from the last section of Oak Park they just did. You know, spoke with Matt, it's probably just best just to take care of this now. But since it is over 20,000, it's gonna require a motion to waive the bids. So I'll go ahead and make a motion authorizing the waiving of bids for an emergency repair to 310 feet of water main on Oak Park Avenue from Hodges south to 623 Oak Park.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Kraus?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Caprows?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Alright, consider a motion accepting a proposal from Brandt Excavating for the replacement of water main from 623 Oak Park Avenue to Hodges Street in the amount of $37,201.90. Again, this is all still funds from, and we're still under on the Dunbar project after doing this other, Dunbar complete, that other section of Oak Park complete, and with doing this, we're still under budget for what we had set aside for Dunbar water main. So I'll go ahead and make a motion accepting a proposal from Brandt Excavating for the replacement of water main from 623 Oak Park Avenue to Hodges Street in the amount of $37,201.90.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions? Roll call.
Missouri?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Caprows?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Consider a motion authorizing the village president and clerk to sign an engineering services agreement with Baxter & Women Engineers in the amount of $26,000 for the design of the Gould Street water main replacement project. The scope of this project is from Miller South to Indiana, and then east on both Penfield and Indiana to the other side of the tracks. Although engineer estimates exceed our ability to pay at this time, competitive bidding, the option of completing the job in phases and other financing alternatives will be looked at after we open the bids to decide the best course of action for the village to pursue. Basically, we're just gonna, we've got them set with the topo, which is a survey. This is just kind of the next step in it. This is gonna be our next project. It's just a matter of how fast we can do it. Once we get numbers, it's set up to be bid with alternatives, such as alternative 1, which would be everything. Alternative 2 would be just this part. Alternative 3 would be just this part. So we'll see where we're at and where the numbers fall, and decide what to do. We could possibly look to borrow short-term internally from possibly water and sewer debt. We don't know until we get the bids and see where the bids come in at. This would set us up, doing it at this time, to receive some pretty competitive bids. If we get on it now, hopefully with the IEPA, we could possibly be looking at bid opening in hopefully April, which would be kind of the start of the construction season for underground, so hopefully you can get some competitive bids doing it at that time. So at this time, I'll go ahead and I'll make a motion authorizing the village president and the clerk to sign an engineering services agreement with Baxter & Women Engineers in the amount of $26,000 for the design of Gould Street water main replacement project.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions on the motion?
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
LaBrus,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Basil,
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Okay. Consider a motion approving the payment of engineering service bills from Baxter and Woman in the amount of $67,952.62 for construction management at the wastewater treatment plant for the months of October and November upon receipt of the IEPA loan funds. This amount was in the last loan drawdown request, but the board has to approve it first, or the bills prior to the payment, so drawdown funds have not been received, but they are expected to come in, so once we get it, they won't be paid until once we receive the money from the IEPA. So I will go ahead and make a motion approving the payment of engineering services bills from Baxter and Woman in the amount of $67,952.62 for construction management at the wastewater treatment plant for the months of October and November, upon receipt of the IEPA loans.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Missouri,
Yes.
Basil.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
LaBrus.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
That's it. Any old business to come before the board? Under new business, just to let you know, I believe between this meeting and the last meeting, the school board did pass a motion at one of their meetings to enter in negotiations for a school resource officer. As of Friday, the superintendent stopped in just to have a very, very brief discussion and indicated that it was going to be further discussed tonight. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not 100% sure that's the route they're going to take. They may be looking at other alternatives. They may be coming to us and to discuss the school resource officer. What we would do is just pure discussion. When we think we have something concrete, we will present it to the board. And then obviously then during budget meeting, we'll be talking about it. But again, I don't know which route they're taking. He's not even sure which route he's taking. They're looking at other alternatives, but just to let you know that did occur.
I have one thing. Last week when I attended the Beecher rec meeting, they had brought it to my attention that they would like to install a backstop on the T-ball field, which is going to be going next to where the playground is. And they were concerned about possibly balls coming into the playground and so on. So I just wanted to run it by the board, you know, that I'm going to work with them as far as the design and everything else. They have a bid. They're going to put it in with their funds. So I just wanted to see if it was, if anybody else had any questions or anything like that.
Is there an update on the lights?
Lights, I believe the lights are in a warehouse in Champaign. They're due to be up by April 25th, is what they have told me. They said that they were gonna talk with Matt and, you know, once it gets to that point as far as trenching and electrical and everything else, so. But they're moving forward with it, so they're hoping to get it done before the first games.
Anybody have anything else?
I have one other thing. The school, we're also discussing tonight whether or not they will petition the village to annex their 30 acres, which is to the west of Lions Park. In our review of doing the TIF plan, I thought that 30 acres was in it, it's not in. And the reason why it was not annexed when it was donated is because the village board at that time did not want to maintain adjoining roads. I think our attitude toward that has changed, so we will accept that petition from the school board to annex, and we'll be considering that probably next month. But they need to pass a motion first.
Any other new business? I would ask for a motion for a 10-minute recess. We'll convene back at 7:40 to discuss the 5-year financial plan.
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second? Second. Roll call, please.